What's going on, guys? Welcome to IMV Sports and welcome to part 3 of my NHL season preview. Today, we are going to talk about the Atlantic Division for the upcoming season in the NHL. Let's get right underway, guys. First team talking about the Boston Bruins. The Boston Bruins, they signed some vets, but they did lose some young talent, some guys like Austin Czarnik, Tim Schaller, Riley Nash, some of those young talent, some of that young talent. They lost. They also trade long-time big stay-at-home defenseman Adam McQuaid. They traded him to the New York Rangers. Some players to watch for them, though. Ryan Donato, the soon-to-be rookie, got a small sample size of him last year, and he put up numbers. And, I think he only played 10 or 12 games, something like that. I think he's going to put up huge numbers this year. I think he scores over 20 goals. I think he gets over 50 points in his first season. Also, Charlie McAvoy, you got to obviously watch out for him. He's another one of these great young defensemen in the game today with his offensive abilities. And also, Jake DeBrusk. Jake DeBrusk is, like I've said in every video with some of these guys, that new generation of young forwards that are quick, have finesse, but are gritty. And I've said that about other guys before, and he is that guy for the Boston Bruins, so you got to watch out for him as well. And the obvious MVP, maybe not obvious for everyone, but Brad Marchand. I know, we all love to hate him. I hate him too. But at the end of the day, he's a good-ass player. He is a good-ass player. He's going to be their MVP this year, guys. So let's move on. Let's talk about the Buffalo Sabres. A very, very interesting offseason for them. Obviously, last place in division again last year. But the big news around them, everyone knows they drafted Rasmus Dahlin in the draft. Probably the biggest guy to come out of the draft since McDavid a couple years ago. Austin Matthews too. My bad. Well, last year we didn't really. The year where it was Nico Hischier and Nolan Patrick went to Flyers. That was like a not too exciting draft year, but you got the Rasmus Dahlin. They get him. I mean, he already looks like he's going to come in the league and possibly be a top 20 defenseman. He's just that highly prospect. He's just that high of a prospect. But they go out, they get Connor Sheary from the Penguins, who started going down with the Penguins after putting up a lot of good numbers the past couple years with them. But they get him. Maybe he'll get back on track there. They also get Berglund and Sobotka from St. Louis in that trade where they sent away Ryan O'Reilly. But that's two good players to get back in that trade. And they also got Jeff Skinner from the Hurricanes. That one happened a little while ago. Some people, I know, even I kind of forgot about it a little bit. But they got Jeff Skinner too, guys. So They went out and made some moves, got some players, added some pretty big names, guys, to this team alongside with Dahlin drafting him. They also signed Carter Hutton as a free agent goalie. They've been having goalie troubles the past couple years. Robin Leonard, I still think he's a good goalie, but they've always had trouble with that the past couple years. And Carter Hutton, maybe he can come in. Maybe he can be the number one guy. We'll see. Players to watch, obviously, Dahlin. Got to watch him. And you also got to watch another young kid who's flying under the radar because all the hype of Dahlin is Casey Middlestat. Casey Middlestat's going to come in and have a breakthrough rookie year. I think this kid is so good. And he'll probably be playing with Jack Eichel too. And, man, that's going to be a scary tandem right there. I think he can make an instant impact as a rookie. And the MVP for me will be Jack Eichel. So let's move on to Detroit. Bad season last year, obviously. They didn't do too much. They got Jonathan Bernier. They get Thomas Vanek. So two veteran guys. And obviously, if you guys heard, Henrik Zetterberg retired. Very sad to see him retire. Been watching him my entire life. From everything you've seen, a very humble guy. A guy that really loves the game of hockey. So congratulations to Henrik Zetterberg on an outstanding career. Very sad to see him leave the game. A lot of people like my age and such. I mean, ever since I was a little tiny kid, he's been playing and always been a hell of a player. So sad to see him retire, but huge congratulations to him on a wonderful career. Players to watch, Andreas Athanasiou. Some of you know about him. He's a great dynamic forward for them. And also Tyler Bertuzzi. He's a guy they're hoping can come up and this year bring a lot of numbers to that offense. He's done great in the AHL in their farm system, so we'll see if he can translate that into the NHL. and my MVP will be the speedy Dylan Larkin. All right, guys, so let's move on. Trying to make this quick, I know. So Florida, the Florida Panthers. They go out, they sign Troy Brouwer as a free agent. They get Mike Hoffman in that deal, as you guys remember. He got traded to the Sharks from the Senators, and then very quickly got traded to the Panthers from the Sharks. So he's another goal scorer, another gritty forward. They try bring it to the team. That's what they felt like they needed. So players to watch, you got to watch Frank Vetrano. He's the guy they acquired from Boston, a young guy that has a lot of upside to his game. Jonathan Huberdeau, obviously been around for a little while now, but he's a great dynamic forward and puts up a lot of numbers. One of my personal favorite players. And I'll also have Evgeny Dadonov. Obviously came back to the NHL a year or so ago from the KHL and been putting up great numbers since, so watch out for him. And the MVP will be new captain Alexander Barkov. Some of you may not know that. He's their new captain. So that's Florida. Let's move on to the Montreal Canadiens. And tough offseason for them right there, too. I mean, I know a lot of people are calling for the GM's head, Bergevin. But they get Thomas Tatar in that trade for Pacioretty. Obviously, they trade Pacioretty. It was a long time coming. The past, 2 years, it feels like you've been hearing about it. But they got Thomas Tatar, one of those guys in return. They get Joel Armia, a decent forward from Winnipeg. They bring Plekanec back after trading him at the deadline to Toronto. Well, after that short stint, just the rest of that season with Toronto, he comes back on a one-year deal. And they also got Max Domi, guys, in that trade with Arizona. So, in which they sent, what's his name? Galchenyuk. They sent away Galchenyuk. So, players to watch. Max Domi his first year. We'll see what he can do. Jonathan Drouin, you got to watch him. Obviously, I know he's had a slippery slope in his early NHL career, being such a high-end prospect coming into his draft year. Also got to look out for Arturi Lehkonen. Very young guy, very fast, can score goals, has an amazing shot. He's going to try to boast some numbers for the Montreal Canadiens. They're thinking he can, so this is kind of a prove-it year for him in his very young career. So he's a player to watch for me. MVP, I'm going to go Jonathan Drouin. I think he breaks out. I think he has a huge season for the Montreal Canadiens. I think he leads the team in goals. So we'll see what happens with that. Moving on to the Ottawa Senators, guys. Another team that had a rough offseason. Another team where a lot of fans are not happy with what's going on in the organization. So obviously they traded Erik Karlsson, which pissed off probably the entire fan base. And they traded Mike Hoffman, which there was a lot of crap going on with him and his fiance. I won't really get into that. You guys can look it up and read about it if you don't know about it. It was a nightmare. So they felt like they had to get rid of him. But it's tough to let a guy like that go because he was a very good player, prolific goal scorer. But they do get Mikhail Bodker. They bring in another goal scorer. He's getting older, not putting up the same numbers he was really in his better years with Arizona, with the Coyotes. But some players to watch for me, for Ottawa, Ryan Dzingel. Ryan Dzingel's a really good forward, very quick. He's always you always feel like he's the first man to the puck. He's always in and around the net. He's got a true goal scoring feel to his style of play. So you got to watch out for him. And Thomas Chabot, a young defenseman, they're hoping can bring a lot of offensive ability to that defensive core. My MVP for the Ottawa Senators, I'm going to go with Matt Duchene. I think he has a very good season this year with the Ottawa. I think he's going to get comfortable there, and he's going to put up a lot of good numbers with the Ottawa Senators this year. A tough thing for them, though, if you guys didn't know, is Jean-Gabriel Pageau. That's a guy I was going to have my players to watch list when I started thinking about this season preview, and I forgot. And they're saying now he may miss 4 to 6 months, which essentially... if it is 6 months, that's the entire season just about. I mean, it is. That's the entire season. If they make the playoffs, which I don't think they will, he could be back. But that's really tough, guys, because he's one of their really, really better players. I'm a young guy with a lot of talent. So prayers up to JG Pageau. If he is out, hopeful for a speedy recovery because he is a really fun player to watch, and I'd like to see him back fully healthy. So moving on, guys, let's talk about the Tampa Bay Lightning. They lost some veterans. Kunitz had a 1-year deal. They lose him. They lose longtime defenseman Andre Schuster. He's been with them for a long time. He's a veteran guy, too. They lose. my player to watch for them, some players to watch, Anthony Cirelli, young forward, brings a lot of talent, has that goal-scoring ability to him. It's kind of a pass-first guy, but either way, brings some points and goal-scoring opportunities to that offense. Also, Yanni Gourde, a hell of a season last year. He's going to have a hell of a season this year, too, I think. And another guy, y'all look out for that young defenseman, Mikhail Sergachev. He's a great, great young defenseman. Big body, has a hell of a shot. So you got to watch out for him, too. And MVP for the Lightning, I'm going to go with a twofer here. I'm going to go Kucherov and Vasilevsky. Vasilevsky, I think, is going to have a great season. Maybe a type of season where he could lead the league in the goalie statistics and save percentage and GAA. He's a very good goalie. I think he might have one of those years, guys. So let's move on to the last team in the division. Obviously, it's the Toronto Maple Leafs. A lot to talk about them with that offseason, guys. Obviously, the biggest thing, they won the lottery on John Tavares. They signed John Tavares 7 years. Man, that just brought a whole new system to that Toronto Maple Leafs team. The atmosphere in that arena and in that town now with Tavares there has completely changed. Because it shows them that they're all in. They're buying in. They're all in on this team they have. They think that the team they have right now could very well win a Stanley Cup. And they could. I mean, they have a very strong team. They also had a veteran in Tyler Ennis, who has numbers have declined a lot, but still a veteran guy that maybe can find his goal-scoring touch again. But they do lose a lot of veteran guys, a lot of goal-scorer guys that have been there for a while. In that losing, going all in for John Tavares, it's like a lot of guys you had to go for some cap space. They lose Tyler Bozak, they lose Leo Komarov, they lose JVR, they lose Roman Polak, they lose Thomas Plekanec. I know he was only with them for a half a season, but still, they lose him after being with them for the playoff run and everything. So that's a lot of guys that have been there for a while. Also, like Bozak, Komarov, JVR, they lose. Some players to watch, Connor Brown. No sophomore slump for me. He did have a sophomore slump. I'm sorry. He had a sophomore slump, but I think he bounces back. I think he gets back on track, scores over 20 goals. Travis Dermott, young defenseman. This is a real do-or-die season for him. Babcock has said he has a very short leash on Dermott this year. Being such a high-end prospect coming into the league, going into his draft, they really want to see him put up some numbers. They really want to see him have a great season. So let's see. I think he will. I think Dermott will deliver. And obviously Mitch Marner. Look out for Mitch Marner too, guys. Another one of those young, great goal scorers on that Toronto Maple Leafs team. My MVP is going to be John Tavares. Who else? So that's it on the teams, guys. Let's get into the standings. I love this. This is my favorite part of the videos. I love predicting the standings. So let's start off right off the bat. 8th, last place, the Ottawa Senators. They're just a dumpster fire, guys. They got goal scoring ability. But Craig Anderson, I don't think we'll ever see the Craig Anderson from 2 years ago that we saw when they made that playoff run, losing in Game 7 to the Penguins in the Eastern Conference Final. I don't think we'll ever see that Craig Anderson again. I think those days are behind him. Their defense is very shaky, very inconsistent. And they have good goal scorers, but they're just so inconsistent. They'll score 6 goals one game, and the next 2 games they'll get shut out. And you can't have that type of inconsistency in the NHL. So they finished last for me. 7th place is going to be the Montreal Canadiens. Just a terrible offseason for them. And basically, the real reason is Carey Price can't win them every game. I feel bad for Carey Price because he is, in my opinion, a top 3 goalie in this entire league. And he can't win them games. And there's going to be times in this upcoming season where they put him in positions too many times where he's going to have to try to steal the game for him. He won't be able to do it all the time. So they finished 7th for me. Number 6, the Detroit Red Wings. No it factor in their team. They don't have any secondary scoring either. They have a couple guys that can put up maybe some big numbers, but that's it. And just also a pretty rocky defense. Cromwell's getting old. He really ain't what he used to be. And Mike Green, he showed some hopes of his old form, in his Capitals days, but will that last? He's battling injuries. He's getting injured a lot. That defense is very shaky for me. Number 5, Buffalo Sabres, guys. Buffalo Sabres are going to be 5th. They'll come very close to the playoffs, I think, too. I think they have a great, great, great season. based off of the way they've been the last couple of years. The team looks ready to compete again, but the defense is lacking, and that's where the goaltending's out there. But offensively, they'll have a very good season. But the reason why they might just miss out on the playoffs is just because lack of defense and the goaltending might be an issue. Number 4, the Florida Panthers, guys. The Florida Panthers, they're a good team. They're well balanced. But the reason I have that 4th is just because the other teams in this division that I'm gonna predict top 3 are just too good. That's all it comes down to. They obviously could still make the playoffs. I think they will this year. I think they'll get a wild card spot. The Florida Panthers will. So we'll see about that. Number 3, the Boston Bruins. It's very close. It's tough to put them at 3. But with the Maple Leafs making the moves they did and Tampa Bay being such a good team, they're going to finish 3rd. I think that my hot take for this is that the Bruins, the Maple Leafs, and the Bruins, the Maple Leafs, and Lightning, all 3 will finish well over 100 points. I think they will. They're just all 3 very good teams, and that's why it's tough to put the Bruins at 3. It's just that the Lightning and the Maple Leafs are just a little better. But they lost some of that young talent, and I think that could slow them down a little bit, but still a very good season for the Bruins. Toronto Maple Leafs, it's very tough to put them at 2. Obviously, that means I have the Lightning at number 1. It's tough. I know a lot of people are like, oh, Maple Leafs are going to run away with that division, but the Lightning are very good too, guys. The Lightning, I think, are just better balanced because they have a better defense and better goaltending. So the Maple Leafs, at number 2. They seem to have all the pieces. They think that they're ready to make a run, and the Lightning at number 1, just a great team all around. They could win Stanley Cup right now. They could. They're just a very, very good team. They have everything that you need to win a Stanley Cup. So we'll see what happens with that, guys. That's my predictions. That's the Atlantic Division. The season starts in 2 days, guys. I can't believe it. Wednesday. It is in 2 days. So tomorrow I'm going to get that preview on the Metropolitan Division, and we'll be underway with the 2018-2019 NHL season. I'm so excited, guys. I'm so ready for it. So thanks for watching. Comment down below. Let me know what you think. Subscribe to the channel, please, guys. I'd really appreciate that. And follow the page on Twitter at IMV Sports. All right, guys. So thanks for watching this video. Take care.